Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Authorities still trying to piece together exactly what happened after a student was shot at Omaha Northwest High School. This is students and parents recount what happened. The shooting took place just before 12:30 Tuesday afternoon. Omaha police say an alert was sent to the area around the school. The school itself went into lockdown. The victim, a 15-year-old, listed in stable condition. A suspect has been taken into custody. Parents, though, like Tammy Wright, said the incident shows to them the need for increased security at schools in Nebraska.
My concern is that there needs to be metal detectors. I think this incident should oppose concern for families and staff of OPS to start implementing metal detectors. They are in a lot of public schools nationwide, and I believe Nebraska needs to implement that.
Wright also mentioned the deadly shooting that happened at a Georgia high school just 2 weeks ago that killed 4 people and injured 9. Not much known about the exact circumstances surrounding this latest shooting in Omaha. In other news, authorities asking for the public's assistance in locating a missing Utah man after his vehicle was found in the Panhandle. Police and Alliance say they're looking for this man, 31-year-old David Alexander Brannon. He's been reported missing out of Utah. Police say Brannon, 5'11", weighs 180 pounds, has brown hair and green eyes. Anyone with any information on Brannon's whereabouts is asked to contact Alliance Police. The U.S. remembering the lives taken and others reshaped by 9/11 on an anniversary laced with presidential campaign politics. President Joe Biden, former President Donald Trump, and Vice President Kamala Harris stood together Wednesday at Ground Zero. September 11th, the date when hijacked plane attacks killed nearly 3,000 people 23 years ago, falls in the thick of the presidential election season every 4 years. And it comes at an especially pointed moment now, hours after Harris and Trump debated each other for the first time. Regardless of the campaign calendar, organizers of anniversary ceremonies have long taken pains to try to keep the focus on victims. For years, politicians have only been observers at Ground Zero observances, with the microphone instead going to relatives who read victims' names aloud. Meanwhile, Tuesday night, the first and potentially only head-to-head debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, giving voters the opportunity to hear directly from the candidates. Correspondent Lee Waldman is in Philadelphia with some of the biggest takeaways.
An historic first meeting between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris may have started with a handshake.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
But the gloves quickly came off.
What we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
She doesn't have a plan.
Harris drawing contrast with Trump by framing herself as an advocate for the middle class and framing her opponent as in it only for himself.
Donald Trump has no plan for you.
While Trump attempted to tie Harris to President Joe Biden's record,
The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done.
in a wide-ranging debate, the two clashed over a number of critical issues, from reproductive rights.
We did something that everybody said couldn't be done, and now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade.
To immigration and border security.
Why hasn't she done it? They've had 3.5 years to fix the border.
What we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
To their visions of and for the country.
We all have so much more in common than what separates us, and we can chart a new way forward.
Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation, and it happened 3.5 years ago.
In Philadelphia, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Price hikes have slowed to their lowest rate since February of 2021. The Consumer Price Index, which measures price changes for commonly purchased goods and services, dropped to 2.5% in August. Economists expected this slowdown thanks to falling gas prices. Meanwhile, grocery prices held steady in August. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the leading driver of inflation continues to be the cost of owning and renting a home. The shelter index rose 0.5% for the month. It's up more than 5% on an annual basis. Still, the latest report likely gives the Federal Reserve the green light to cut interest rates when it meets next week. Nebraska State Auditor, meanwhile, setting his sights on tax increment financing. In a 26-page letter sent to Nebraska legislators Tuesday, State Auditor Mike Foley suggested the rapid escalation in projects funded by TIF could correlate with rising property taxes. Foley pointed out that TIF projects have resulted in over $500 million in property tax revenue going to urban redevelopment. He says the amount of money spent on TIF over the last 9 years in Nebraska has doubled. And TIF's been a topic of discussion in cities all over Nebraska of late, with supporters saying it's a way to combat urban blight, while critics have called it a scheme that doesn't improve revenue in the long run. Well, students are back on campuses, and at one college campus in Nebraska, they have more than they did last year. Wayne State College says the undergraduate population grew by 4.5%, marking the 8th straight year of enrollment growth in Wayne. The college credits this to a new residence hall that opened this past January, along with the athletic and recreation construction project set to bring a dome to Wayne and many new programs. This year's freshman class, the 4th largest in recent history, 780 students attending the college for the first time. Kearney Public Schools growing its footprint, adding onto its high school and building a new entrance for an elementary school. The district this week announced plans to build a 29,000 square foot flex space addition. For Kearney High, this new facility will house dedicated spaces for the new girls wrestling team, along with a junior ROTC air rifle range and an indoor drill area for cadets. The $10.3 million project expected to be finished by the spring. KPS also planning to build a new entrance for Central Elementary on the building's south side. That $2.2 million project meant to enhance safety and accessibility for students. That'll be done by fall. Well, the new budget for the Beatrice Public School District has been approved by the District 15 board. It's about a $43 million plan, including an overall tax rate lower than the past year. Under the state aid funding formula, district officials say Beatrice will see increased state aid over the next couple of years, mainly because of the new elementary school.
A district's needs minus its resources equals the amount of state aid that they're going to get. Underneath each one of those categories, those needs are broken down into different areas and different resources, and it makes sense because it's a way to find balance amongst all 244 schools in the state. So as much as we hear politicians say the TIOSA formula is broken, it needs revamped, maybe it is time for some changes, but it's not broken. It does what it's supposed to do.
School district budgets are heavily tilted toward personnel expenses, the need for hiring teachers and staff. Beatrice Public Schools budget this year contains an overall tax rate about 99.7 cents per $100 of property valuation. That's down from $1.04 the past year. Valuation has gone up more than 8% in the school district, resulting in increased revenue. Well, Husker Harvest Day is underway out in central Nebraska. Anna Ruth Lugo Mejia visited exhibitors there to get an idea of what to expect this year.
Thousands of people and exhibitors have congregated to get up to date in what's new in the agricultural world. Husker Harvest Days 2024 kicked off Tuesday morning, and the show serves to highlight the latest in the ag world to farmers and potential customers.
We love to interact with the farmers. Those are our customers, and we like to listen to what their current need is. We feel we're a real innovative company, so a lot of our products have come from just listening to farmers and hearing what they need to make life better.
Stravel Manufacturing Inc. Marketing Director Larry Myers says the company started back in 1946 with a blacksmith shop, and it has grown into 4 companies. But that isn't the only company coming in hopes of getting to interact with farmers and potential customers. River Screen has also come for about 20 years.
We talk to a lot of people here from overseas, and it's neat to be able to talk to other people who have similar experiences to what we're dealing with in the industry, and their farming practices. And
Bill McClure with Pioneer has also been doing the show for 34 years, and for him, it's a great way to connect with the agricultural world.
We want to make sure we're represented just like many of the seed companies do. It's a good way for our customers to pop in, see what's up with our company, talk to some of their local sales professionals, and get kind of the lowdown on Pioneer.
More than 500 exhibitors are at the Husker Harvest 2024, which runs until Thursday. In Wood River, Ana Ruth Lugo Mejia, New Channel, Nebraska.
And one of the country's most iconic brands plans to change its name. Campbell Soup says it wants to drop soup from its corporate moniker. The company's been around for 155 years, but leaders say there's more to Campbell's these days than just soup, and soup is now a smaller part of the company's sales. So it wants to be known as the Campbell's Company. Campbell's owns a variety of snacks and foods, including Goldfish, Pepperidge Farm, and Snyder's of Hanover. Shareholders get the final say on whether or not the name change becomes official. They'll decide that issue at the company's annual meeting in November. You can stay up to date at the very latest by following us online. No name change there, still newschannelnebraska.com. You can also follow us on X. Recent name change there, I suppose. Like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.